Well, we're off to the burn. Going to meet a potential client. That's what we do from time to time when you guys want to meet us at the burn, even on Sundays at 11 o'clock. Oh, we're late. We'll head down to the burn and meet with people. This is so annoying. My arms are sore today. From just helping out, doing stupid stuff at the paddock yesterday when all the babies trained. I think I strained my arms, just used them a little too much, which is hard to believe considering it's only been 2 weeks since I hurt them now. This one, yeah, I got a broken elbow, but the ligament's hurting this more than anything, and I try to do as little as I can with this, but I feel weak. Somebody told me I looked like I lost a lot of weight yesterday. I did lose a little bit, but anyway, a little sore, a little tired, a little medicated today, but a lot going on. Finally, a nice day in Ontario. 25 degrees. What a beautiful day to have a broken arm. So, we're heading down to the barn. We're going to meet with Alex, is his name. We're going to meet with Alex and his wife and his kids and talk about the stable. But I'm going to talk to you first about what went on this week. We actually had a decent week. The only controversies we had this week are no injuries to speak of. We avoided an injury with Zeb Sunshine. He'd come up lame after the open house. Found that he had a pus pocket in his foot. We were a little scared for a little bit. Anytime, especially lately, the horse comes up lame, we're a little worried. But old Zeb's fine now, jogging great. He'll be back in his training schedule next week. We took 37 American breds yesterday over to train. They trained well. What controversies do we have? Warwi Ultra. Warwi Ultra made a break last night, and I get it. You know, when the horses make breaks or things don't go our way, especially when they haven't been going our way, we're going to get a lot of flack from our clients. That's my job. You know, I understand that. And the concern was that there was a change made to the hobbles, supposedly last minute. Now, yesterday afternoon when I got home, I had a nap. I laid down. I was tired. We tried to get the kids down to fireworks night, but the young lady that takes care of Warwi Ultra does a very good job, and she understands where the equipment goes. Sometimes you'll notice that the trainers, Jason sometimes couldn't make it to both tracks, and Harry didn't make it out last night. And that sometimes is a point of contention, point of frustration for some of our clients. But at the end of the day, the culmination of the training all week is not the race. I mean, I've driven for lots of trainers that were never there, couldn't be there, or just didn't go. Their job is to make sure the horse is prepared for the races, and our professional caretakers make sure the harness and the gear is on correctly, which it was last night. Now, Jody Jameson had come up to me in the morning and said, Anthony, is Harry around? I want to talk to you guys about the hobbles on Warwi Ultra. I said, okay. He said, I thought they were a little snug last week. Probably cost her a little bit. And I'm thinking to myself, she raced well last week, but she's going to have to find almost a full second, and it turned out she needed more than a full second of more speed if she was going to drive into any sort of money situation last night. So I had listened to Jody, and I said, you know what, I believe you're probably right. Although she made a break on me in the qualifiers, if you think that she feels comfortable enough to let those hobbles out a hole or two, go ahead. So he did. He let her hobbles out a couple of holes. Did she run because she threw her head a little bit at the gate, as Jody said? Probably not. I think she probably made a break because of the hobbles being let out, but that's nobody's fault but mine. I spoke to Harry about it, and I said, Harry, they're going to go in 55, 56, and I don't know if Warwi Ultra can do that yet. Jody brought up a good idea and said, with the hobbles the way they are, they might be tiring her out. If she could go with a tiny bit longer hobble, you know, she might be okay. It turns out that she didn't. She made a break at the gate. They made a break coming out of the turn in the same place. Having said that, watching the race, she had a lot of speed in the middle part of the race to catch up, and she may have got a check otherwise. And rightfully so. One of our clients called us on it, said the hobbles were changed before the horse went on the track. They were. That was on me. Hey, I showed you how to fix that. Stop. The hobbles were on me, not Jody, not Harry, not anybody else's. Now, I talked to Harry about it. It only made sense. And that's exactly what we did. Got a crying baby. Be back in just a second when Oh, she needs an equipment change bad. I'll be back in just a second and talk about the rest of the week and what went on at the stable. Well, we're now done at the barn, and I figured I'd continue on with my videos. We talked about Warwi Ultra last night, making a break. Those things happen. I made a decision that as is, Warwi Ultra was not going to be able to trot fast enough to get money. And I thought if she could go with a little bit longer hobble, that we had a good chance of maybe getting her close. And instead, she made a break. And it's not one of those things you'd say, well, why wouldn't you train her with them out longer in the middle of the week? That means nothing. When you're going a quarter in 28 or 27 in a piece, that's the only time it matters. And we're not going to go quarters in 28, 27 in between races. So that's unfortunate, but it's over with now. What else we got? Staking. We talked about staking earlier in the week. We had left some horses out of the fourth payments of the staking. I think I was very clear why we did that. Pretty clear to me for a couple of horses, and obviously worth talking about. I talked to a number of clients about it and made the video about it. What else we talked? We talked about injuries in the middle of the week. We talked in depth about Sunshine's finest injury in particular, where we're at with that right now. Talked about Forged in Fire's injury, and we talked about Cabernet, where she's at. She's starting back soon, hopefully. Yesterday, we had some great news. Obviously, we're going to talk in a minute. You guys have video sent to you yesterday, I guess, as this gets made today. You had a video sent to you yesterday about White Tiger, or about all the babies. White Tiger qualified yesterday, I think 56 last quarter in 27 seconds. Brian Sears went with him. Obviously, very happy there. He looked good. Andrew said he was running in a little bit. A few little things to change, but he trotted good. Good last quarter. What else we got here? Lincoln James won in Illinois right out of the gate. How good was that horse? He was off almost 50 days, winning 53-3 in the mud, the pouring rain last quarter, I believe in 26-4. Timo Tulo was second. What else do we got? We sold some horses in the sale last week. I touched on that in a video earlier in the week. Casanova's Jewel made a break in his qualifier. We're going to turn Casanova's Jewel and Screaming Hawk out for a bit. That will likely mean that I will end up with a lot of shares of Screaming Hawk and Casanova's Jewel, as a number of our clients don't want to wait. But as I said, I'm going to continue to stick up for horses that want to do their work. These are two workers, and I've been happy with them. Obviously unhappy when they make breaks, but I can see the way they're... Casanova's Jewel is a little bit off, left front and left hind. Screaming Hawk just isn't physically matured just yet. He's getting there. On days he's there, and on other days he's not. So it's only logical to think that he'll get there soon enough, and I would think he'll make a nice trotter. So those horses are going to get a little siesta, a little time off. What else? Now we get the babies. We got a video yesterday of the babies, how they went. Wow, there was some impressive looking horses. Hard to believe they looked that good on May 18th. So next Monday we'll be schooling them. I told you in the video that you saw, again, this is Sunday. You would have got the video on Sunday. So the video yesterday you saw, or maybe 2 days ago you saw, I told you how I was trying to get a day to school the horses. It wasn't going to be easy. What we needed was a day when I could ask Mohawk to give us 4 schoolers to ourselves, no one else. That's a big ask, but they did. They said Friday or Monday. I said they went Sunday, then trained Saturday 6 days. Let's opt for 9 days rather than another 6 back. We're gonna go back on, or 8 days, I guess. We're gonna go back on Monday. So a week from, I assume today, when you're reading this, maybe yesterday, I guess at the latest. A week from Monday's qualifying events, we are going to school 30 or 35 babies at Mohawk. That should be fun. Yesterday went off pretty good. We made a few little changes on the fly as some horses didn't get warmed up, or we made some equipment adjustments. But all in all, pretty good day yesterday. That was quite the undertaking. It was only half the stable pretty much. 37 horses trained yesterday. I would say 35 trained very, very well. A couple of breaks, a couple of mistakes, some horses looking at stuff. I just had somebody say, where was Path of Totality? I didn't see her. Where was Path of Totality? I didn't get to see her. She made a break. There's some horses you're going to see on the top part of this email that have X's beside them. They made little breaks. Rooney Blue Chip ran for just one step and must have come right up trotting because he was very close to them finishing up. He looked good. Sylvain said if you look, well, you wouldn't see because the videos you saw were just snippets that I put on my phone. But as you'll see, if you look at any Mohawk replays, halfway down the backstretch, there's a wooden structure where media can hang out for big races and take pictures. And the horses were all looking at that structure. The teletimer boxes just inside the pylons, inside the safety lane, they tend to pick up on them pretty good too. The one thing that wasn't present yesterday that might be a problem for schooling day, there were no shadows yesterday because there was no sun, it was just cloudy. That's a problem. That's a big part of schooling at Mohawk. There's a giant shadow that goes across the first turn, and it can be tricky. Maintenance man, I think, cleared it with all 4 feet last year, schooling, and it can be a problem. So, for those of you out there saying, why don't you just put shadow rolls on them? No, they still see it. So it's more or less just letting them see that shadow. When we warm up, go over it slow, continue to go the right way of the track, go over it slow, speed up a little bit. We'll know which ones might need shadow rolls, which I hope is none, but it'll likely be some. And then we will go from there. You might say to yourself, well, why have they not seen shadows before? There's no shadows at Tomiko. Trees aren't tall enough, and the sun, we're never on the track late enough to get the sun. So that would cause a shadow across the track very rarely. Anyway, so that's it. That's the opening. We had a big day with the babies yesterday. A lot going on. White Tiger finally qualified. That's great. Get his year underway next Saturday. Andrew's telling me he's going to race at the Meadowlands. What?
White Tiger.
Yeah, White Tiger qualified. Really happy. Babies went good. Warwi Ultra made a break, but she's got a long year in front of her. I know I say that every time something goes wrong. It's a long season, but it is. And I know everybody goes race by race, and there was probably a lot of people, even though she was a long shot last night, upset that she ran, but that was me. I made a decision that for us to gather enough speed, she needed a little more hobble. Might have been a little too much for her. I know Jody said she threw her head, and he gave a couple other excuses, but it was the hobbles. I'm almost certain of that. So that was on me. We'll pull them back in a little bit. Obviously, she'll likely race on a half or a 5/8 quite a few times this summer. So she'll need the hobbles in a little bit for that. The good news is she'll get over a half pretty near as good as she gets over Mohawk. So that's good. That's encouraging. Lincoln James, as I said, was a winner. Yes, raced good, finished third, 56. He was a little tentative with them, a little conservative. I think if you watch the race from a gambler standpoint, he had to move them out of the 2-hole, back to the front around the long shot at the quarter. I think he's probably a winner. But he chose to drove him conservatively, which is fine. We talked earlier in the week about the staking, why I chose the Gin Blossom series rather than the non-winners and the non-winners of 4, non-winners of 2 or 4 for West 52nd. And yes, I hope you guys understood that, what I said. I know a lot of people will. Maybe a lot of people might not agree. But the path of least resistance and the easiest wins you can find, if there's such a thing on earth, are the things that you should aim for when you're not in staking events. So the Gin Blossom is where, yes, and yeah, you got to get a haircut. West 52nd is going to race in the non-winners of 2 on Wednesday, and then a week after that, hopefully, he'll be in the Gin Blossom series in Northfield. Yes, we'll race in the non-winners of 4 on Thursday, and he'll be in the Gin Blossom. They'll race in the first 2 legs, and then they'll miss the next 2 legs. If they can muster a win in each of those first 2 legs, I would think they'll have enough to get in the final. Either way, it'll be some great prep racing for them, and should be a little lesser company, a little easier for them, some nice racing, and some great tune-ups and preps for them for the summer. Time Old Tulo was second. Raced good this week. We sold them some horses in the sale. Talked about the staking cost, talked about Casanova's Jewel and Screaming Hawk. We did talk about the injuries, and obviously lots to talk about the summer coming. Put a smile on my face yesterday. My arms are very sore today just from trying to help out just a remedial amount yesterday. My arms are very sore, but at the same time, it was worth it, every ounce of pain, because it was some kind of great day watching those horses go yesterday. Really uplifting, and the summer is near upon us. 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and how many days? When did I get this on? Tuesday, Wednesday?
Thursday.
3 and a bit weeks. June 13th. June 13th, this blue puppy here comes off. Those disgusting Frankensteinish pins come out of my wrist. I start physio right away, and hopefully I'll be back. It feels like I could jog a horse right now, but after lifting stuff yesterday and feeling the soreness, this arm's hard as a rock. So I think I gave the ligaments and tendons just from top to bottom, from my hand to my, really almost my shoulder, a real good jarring when I went down, and that hurts a bit, and obviously this hurts a little bit too. So we'll see, play it by ear, but as I said, my commitment, my promise to everybody at the stable is June 2nd now. July 2nd. When's your birthday?
July 21st.
Oh, I'll definitely be driving then. July 2nd, I will be in the race bike, Pennsylvania and Ohio. Shortly after that, Indiana. A lot going on, a lot coming up. Off to a great start with these babies yesterday. There's a few little snippets of videos you got to see. If you're around the Mohawk area a week from Monday, drop by. Come on out. We got lots of donuts, lots of coffee.
My friend Melania's birthday's on July 17th.
Little bit of useless information for there if you want. It's Elijah's birthday on July, what day?
No, my friend Melania.
Melania. Yeah, Melania Trump?
Elijah's is 1 month after mine.
1 month after Ollie's. So if anybody's looking for Elijah's birthday, Elijah from St. Ignatius Senior Kindergarten, his birthday is exactly 1 month after Ollie's. Anyway, all done for the opening. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk about the barns. Not a ton going on yet. Decent week. A lot of horses leaving. A lot of babies coming. A lot to talk about still. Be right back in a minute. We're going to talk about all the barns. Then I'm going to run through all the babies. If you didn't get a good feel for who trained and how they trained, I'm going to give you a look at how everybody did yesterday, whether they stayed at Tamiko or went to Mohawk. Be back in just a minute.